The mistreatment and abuse of children, ladies and gentlemen, is at an all-time high. Not to mention the number of children that go missing every day. It hurts my soul to see a child in distress. These are our children, our future. And I trust that there is nothing the majority of you would not do to help a child. With that said, please, if you ever come across a child that needs help and the kid has black eyes, push that little creep in the grass and run. I mean it. Don't even touch him. Just take off and run faster than you have ever ran before. Now, don't stand there and try to fight a bunch of kids with black eyes, or even one for that matter. That would be your first and probably last mistake. This shit is crazy and you all know it. These little gremlins mean business. I'm talking about the black-eyed children, folks. The real children of the corn. Now, I have a firm belief that if you go looking for something, that thing may end up finding you. How many times have you heard of someone using a Ouija board to contact an entity that they don't even know what it is? Not a good idea. It's not so much the board, but the fact that you are giving an entity permission to enter your world, enter your home, enter your mind. Consider this. Why would something like a vampire need permission to enter your home? Why would they need to be invited inside? Think about this. When a police officer detains someone to search them, they will often say, "Do you have anything in your pockets that I need to know about?" Now, this sounds like a simple question, but what they are actually asking the person is for permission to go ahead and search their pockets. So, in the case of the vampire is not actually asking to be let into the person's home. The vampire is really asking the person to open themselves up to their will. They want you to drop that natural invisible barrier you have to protect you from these psychic entities. This is what these black-eyed children are doing. They try to con their way into a person's psyche so that they can next do whatever they want to you. It's similar to hypnosis. You have to be a willing participant to some degree in order to be hypnotized. This is the same reason why you should not take gifts from gnomes, according to folklore. So when it comes to these black-eyed children, let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. Now, this is a worldwide phenomenon. Both children and adults have encountered these black-eyed kids. What's interesting is that many of these witnesses have been people in positions of power. They appear to be between the ages of 8 and 14 years old and appear in random places, at people's front doors, cars, the woods, and in small numbers, usually 1 to 3, but have been known to multiply their numbers, and these other kids just come out of nowhere. These children have pale skin with no blemishes, no scars, no bumps, no bruises, no freckles, nothing. And their clothing is always described as being dull, old-fashioned, and loose-fitting. When they show up, let's say you're at your home, what they do is they don't ring the doorbell, ever. Instead, what they will do is knock on the door in a very suspicious, long, dreadful knock. When people do open the door to these children, they seem to be very still, and there is something very ominous about them. People often report a feeling of intense terror when they encounter them. Dogs tend to cower, run, and hide when these black-eyed children are around. They usually have their heads down, hiding their faces, and speak in a monotone manner, repeating themselves over and over. Now, they don't respond to questions when asked, But they will often ask to come inside, wherever you happen to be, either your home or job or vehicle, and all they seem to want to do is get in. All they care about is you inviting them inside. And they have been known to try and trick people into letting them in. It's safe to say that once you let them inside, bad things will happen. But of course, there aren't really any cases of people letting them in and then being able to report what happened next. When people refuse their advances, they tend to disappear. People have said that when they close the door on them, after attempting to find a weapon to protect themselves with, they come back to the door and the kids are gone, without a trace. There is some kind of dark energy that surrounds these beings that often interferes with electronic devices. So what type of beings are they? Some say ghosts, some say demons or other interdimensional beings, the devil's spawn. Some say they are alien hybrids of tall whites or alien grays, and may have something to do with the men in black. However, no one truly knows where these kids come from or what they are. Now, author and paranormal researcher David Weatherly is the go-to guy on this topic. He is the guy who has done the in-depth research and has personally spoken to witnesses and written books about it. The amount of information and stories he has about these beings is astounding. If these kids are demons, why can't they just haunt old buildings like normal ghosts? No, they have to go door to door messing with people. They're not selling cookies or candy or delivering newspapers. They just fuck with people all day. So it's clear that these little black-eyed brats have to be stopped. Now, I like kids, but these aren't kids. And they're obviously not human. And if you ask me, they're not very bright. I mean, don't these kids know that real human children don't have black eyes? It's a dead giveaway. Haven't they ever heard of sunglasses? Oh, I'll just hold my head down and they'll never notice. Stupid. Hell, I'll let a kid in with a scary Halloween mask on before I let a kid in who appeared to have real all black eyes. Or all white eyes. Yes, people have encountered white-eyed children as well. I don't know. Maybe it's best to just not believe in these beings as it seems to attract them. Truth is stranger than fiction. And folks, if you ever have someone come knocking on your door, for God's sake, don't send your own kid to answer it. You may not like who they let in.